So, John, this real estate thing's working out for you, right?
Yes, it is.
In a magnificent way.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick. Right now, this is where America tunes in to hear great real estate talk. Hear us talk about things that relate to the home real estate. So whether you're buying, selling, or staying in your home forever, you're going to enjoy the show because we always have interesting people on the show. And today we are on location at the one and only John Daugherty Realtors Company, and we have the real estate legend, Mr. John Daugherty. He is our first guest. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. I'm glad to be here.
It is always exciting to see you and talk with you, and here you are. One of the things, this is your 50th year in business. Is that right?
That's incredible, isn't it?
It really is.
I tell all my friends I was 3 years old when I started it.
And you said that to me before, and I believe you. You look so young, and the business is going so well.
Thank you.
Let's tell people a little bit about the beginning of your company.
Well, it's interesting. I started my company in March 8th of 1967. Had been in the business for 9 months before with a wonderful man that was my mentor, Jimmy Jacks. Before I went to work for Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, I think this is really something I want to do. I love people. I love architecture, love homes. And I said, I may want to buy in or go out on my own in a year or so. He says, come on. And well, Jimmy and I hunted and fished together a lot and stayed great friends. And when I went in to resign and tell him what I was going to do, he got up around his desk. Now, Jimmy's a 6'3", ex-Rice football player, big guy. And he comes over and gives me a big hug. He says, I'm here to help you. And for the next 5 or 6 years, he was the first person I would call, and he was always there to help me. We kept fishing and hunting together and just kept a real close relationship. And I've had many big honors happen to me, but one of the biggest honors was 18 years ago, Jimmy knocks on our door and says, I want to come be with you all and join your family. And he was with us for 14 years. We lost Jimmy about 4 years ago, but what a wonderful man.
And what a beginning. Did you ever realize that the company would thrive and go for such a period of time? And you're not finished yet.
No. We're on an expansion mode right now, enlarging our office in the Woodlands, always enlarging our Post Oak office, which covers a huge market. And it's just, there's so many good things going, and I can't do it without great people, and I've got two of them sitting in this room with me right now.
And we're going to be talking to some of the team here today, in addition to yourself, John. And as you say, with the team, it takes teamwork to make any dream work, and you do have a phenomenal team. People know about you, not just in Houston, Texas, but far and wide.
Well, we hope so.
That's right. And the reach, actually, let's tell people a little bit about the reach of your company, because you're connected throughout the United States and even globally.
We represent 3 organizations that give us, close to twice as many realtors that we're connected with worldwide than any of our other companies that we compete with, which I'm very proud of. And we've been working very hard on that for a number of years because we think and believe this is an international city now. And then more and more people are coming in from all over the world, and we'll continue to do that.
And when you tell the story in the beginning about your friend Jimmy and that he ended up working with you, it's interesting. In the 50-year span, I bet you we could talk for hours about the thousands of stories and the way that lives have been touched and the way you've been helping people.
Well, I'm so fortunate. The first people I need to give credit to is my parents. They laid a wonderful foundation for me here in Houston. My daddy grew up on the north side of town in what we call Fifth Ward today. He started working in the oil field supply business when he was 14 years old while he was going to St. Thomas High School part-time. So I got to know a lot of their friends, and that was a big help for me when I started, is that they believed in me, they trusted me, and they gave me the opportunity to represent them in selling their homes.
Let's tell people right now, as you have this 50-year span, you've seen the real estate here in Houston go up and down. Usually it goes up. It's like that stock that eventually it's going up all the time. What's the market like right now?
The market's very stable. There's a good movement of people moving in and moving out of Houston. We thought a couple of years ago that the energy business downturn was going to hurt our business, and it really hasn't. And I give credit to our leaders in this city that after we went through the 80s, which was very difficult for everybody in Houston because of the energy crisis, is that I give credit these leaders because they've done a wonderful job in diversifying the city. We've got the medical center, which I think is probably the largest medical center in the world. We've got high-tech business, and we've got the port. And the port is just exploding, what's going on out there right now. And I can't imagine what's going to happen when the Panama Canal opens up, because it's just going to be a real win-win for Houston.
There's no question about it. This city is so unique. Those things, in addition, when we start thinking about the Panama Canal and things like that, not to mention the space program, there is no other city that has the diversity that we do as far as economic drivers. It's really incredible.
It is. In fact, I was visiting with a friend of mine earlier, Buzzy Swartz, who's chairman of Space Center, and he was telling me that 40% of the people that come and visit the Space Center are from other parts of the world, and that they have last year they had 1 million people come and visit it, and I don't think there's another organization in this city that has that.
It's
that
an
many
incredible
people.
city.
It is incredible.
And of course, as far as that goes, I said it before, John, and people have their eyes on Houston no matter what part of the world they're in.
Yes, they do.
Even when you think about China, all those things.
Well, I've been told that the number one nationalities moving into Texas is Chinese people.
That's right. And not only that, moving in and people are investing from all over.
Unbelievable.
And give us an idea, John, as you're talking about expansion. You're in the Woodlands right here as we're near the Uptown Galleria area. Let's tell people some of the other things from an expansion standpoint that is your vision.
Well, we're continuing to expand and get more of the Memorial Market because it seems to be continually growing. That's a very important market to us. And we've also got some people that are working down in the NASA area you mentioned earlier in that market. That's a real interesting market. People that love boats live down there. Most people do.
And we have something for everybody
yes,
in this town.
do.
We really do.
And we're also in the Cypress market. We've got several people working that market. And so we're expanding and getting to other markets than what we were known for. We were known basically for the River Oaks, Tanglewood, Memorial, Rice Medical area, and West University and Bel Air areas. But we're way wider than that today than we were 10 years ago.
And as you've been in this business for such a long period of time, it's interesting as the market goes up and down. What keeps you has kept you in this profession for such a long period of time, where you just have the same enthusiasm, I think, when I've seen you years ago and even beyond?
Well, I love this business. I love people. I love architecture. I love homes. And all those things mixed together for me. And it's just my life has been meeting people and getting to know people, and I'm wide open in that category for getting to know new people in our city. And this city people are so friendly in Houston, Texas, and I hope we never lose that. But it's always been very open, not what you are, it's what you can do for Houston and help Houston. And people share that with each other and work together with each other.
You're exactly right. People are friendly, and I got here in 1982 via Chicago, and that's one of the first things I noticed about Houston, Texas, was how friendly people are. You hit it on the head, and all those things brought together as a winning formula for your career and your profession. It must be gratifying all these years to be around such great people and to help so many people day in and day out.
Well, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our family, and our family are our team, and they just we all work together and we all help each other. And I think that's what it's all about.
If someone's listening, let's say from the real estate profession, someone that's just starting in the real estate world, and they would have the opportunity to talk with you, what would be, say, 2 or 3 things that you would tell them? And they say, John, I really want to, it's my first day on the job being a realtor. I want to be successful. Give them an idea, maybe a couple things that you would tell them.
Well, we're in the education, communication, and marketing business. And one of the things that's made us successful over the years is our in-house training that we do. We teach our people how to communicate with the clients, and we have training going on twice a week, every week, and people within our company are doing the training, and we bring a lot of outside people in to help us train in certain different areas, and it's worked very successfully for us. We think training is a very important part of being successful of building referral business, because I can drive around in these neighborhoods say, well, we sold this house 2 times, we sold this house 5 times, we sold this house 10 times. If we didn't build a good relationship with those buyers and sellers, we couldn't say that. And I'm very proud of that.
And that's true. I imagine as you drive around, and I ran into you at a restaurant not too long ago, but as you drive around and move about the city, I bet as you look at the homes, you're saying just that. Well, I sold that one twice, that one 3 times, and then you attach the family and even probably remember the emotions and the story of each and every home and each and every individual and family.
That's correct. That's what I love about it, the people.
Still smiling after all these years. So, John, this real estate thing's working out for you, right?
Yes, it is.
In a magnificent way. And it's easy to see why you're so successful. Every time I've gotten to see you, you have such a great personality, but you really put forth the sincerity, and I think that goes for all your team and the people that I've met. Tell us a little bit more about what you look for when you add somebody to the team or they seek you out.
Well, we look for people that are well educated. And this is so different than when I started in the business, and people that have sales ability. You know, how well do they communicate with people? We think that's very important, and we have a wonderful team that interviews people that are interested in joining our family, and we don't just have one interview. We sometimes have as many as 4 interviews because we want to make sure it's right for them and right for us too.
And there's so many things that happen in a real estate transaction, and there's so many things that the realtor has to be. And I don't think a lot of people think right off when they start, but I mean, they have to negotiate. They have to have the product knowledge. They have to handle emotions. There's a period of time that it takes. I mean, some transactions can take a little bit of time till they close, right?
That's right.
My hat's off to anybody in the real estate profession that is successful, because it really is not as easy as it looks on TV, and they make it look easy on TV.
No, it's not. It takes a lot of work, a lot of thought.
If you were to speculate, and let's say look another 20, 30 years, you've also seen a lot of technology come into play in real estate. Give us an idea of some of how you would project this real estate world looks maybe 20, 30 years.
I'll tell you an interesting story. In 1996, we were in New York for a real estate conference. Stanley Marcus, who was the founder of Neiman Marcus, was our guest speaker there. And at that time, he was 92 or 93 years old. And the computer world was just starting to get into our business. The internet was. And we were scared to death of it. We didn't know what it was going to do to our business. Today, I hug and kiss it every day. It is really helping us. It's helping our buyers and sellers. It's helping our salespeople. It's a wonderful, wonderful communication tool that we take advantage of every day.
John, give us an idea, say with the last couple of minutes, what else would you like people to know about the real estate profession or about your adventure here in real estate and beyond?
Well, it's important that if you're interested in buying a home, that you find a salesperson that specializes in that area and knows that area. And that comes into the education I mentioned earlier. And we think that's very, very important, and that they blend together. Just because they're a real good salesperson, successful salesperson, doesn't mean they blend well with the client. And both should recognize that when it happens, because it's not going to be a successful transaction for both. And that doesn't happen very often, but occasionally it does. I think, I really go back to our success is staying focused in the market, training our team, building good management. It all has to happen together. And I've had a lot of fun of inventing some things in my early years. One of them was a co-op department. When I invented this back in the late 60s, early 70s, that I felt like we needed to have professional people here that could meet other realtors that were showing our listings, because 60 to 80% of our business is co-brokered, where one company represents the seller, another company assists a buyer. And we have a team of 4 people that handle that every day when other realtors call in to want to have appointments to see one of our properties we have for sale. And that's worked very successfully for us. Another thing that I had back in those days that's different today is I didn't believe one person could represent a buyer and a seller in the same transaction. And we wouldn't allow that for years. But now with all the new things that have come in, there's ways that can be handled in a professional way and be fair to both the buyers and sellers.
John, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Well, we're John Daugherty Realtors. We have 2 offices right now. Our Post Oak office is on Post Oak Boulevard, just east of the 610, and that's our corporate headquarters too. We have 147 salespeople working out of this office. We have our Woodlands office. We have four full-time people working out of Woodlands office, and with this new space that we're getting ready to take over, we're going to be able to handle more agents moving into our company out there.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And it dawns on me, you're just a year or two older than me, but I don't know how you have so much more hair. How do you do it,
I've
John?
got a lot more hair than you do.
You're looking great. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Daugherty. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more. Stay with us. Every morning at the office, he's ready for action. He wants to help with your real estate transaction. In Houston, Texas, he's a legend you see. The man I'm talking about is John Daugherty, Big John. Big John, Big John. Said Big Bad John. Big John. He has a team of agents, some of the best you know. They'll help you with your home, whether you come or go. Each one has a specialty, and they work with John Daugherty, Big John. He's been in Houston, Texas for many, many years. When you work with John, have no fear. He practices discretion and privacy. He's sitting right here looking at me, Big John. Big John, Big John. I said, Big Bad John. Big John. When you buy or sell a home, call his company. They know real estate from A to Z. Whether you're traveling from near or traveling from far, I don't care if you're in a plane or in a car. Call John. The real estate transaction is best left to the pros, and John and the team are always in the know. They work real hard to stay on top of their game because the one thing we know is things always change. Big John. Big John. Big John. I said Big Bad John. Big John. His company's been around for over 50 years, one of the best in the business, and I know you hear. His word is his bond, and that says a lot. So give them a call, as the market's still hot. Big John. When John got into real estate, he had a vision, you see. Ask anyone, don't take it from me. The client's interests come first, that's what he tells the team. So give them a call, and you'll see what I mean. Big John. Big John. Big John. I said Big Bad John. Big John. Well, at this point, there's not much else I'll say. I hope you got the message from me today. In 1967, in this city, he established the brand, John Daugherty. And at the top of this company is a big, big man. We love you, John. Big John. And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title on location. Your host, Bill Nampick, right here on the 6th floor in their world-famous office. The president now joins us. Her name is Cheri Fama. Cheri, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, it's great to see you again.
It is awesome. This time it's so nice to be right here in the comfortable office in your beautiful surroundings. Let's tell people the update on John Daugherty Realtors from your perspective.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're here seeing our renovation, our kind of new look.
It's really nice.
Today's look. Good. We love it. Everybody loves it. Nice change. And as you mentioned and talked with John, it's our 50th anniversary. It has been, we started celebrating before it started, of course.
That's a good idea.
About the last quarter of last year. Put a fun billboard up near the railroad track at outside of River Oaks.
I see it all the time.
And it is amazing how many people have called us to wish us happy birthday and happy anniversary and all those things from that big 50 that's up on that sign.
It is amazing. It's a cliche, but time does fly by so quickly, and especially in such a fast-paced and dynamic profession like real estate.
Absolutely, and change is imminent, no matter what. And I guess it's how you choose to accept it that's always the most important thing in life. And you hear from John, and you hear from me. I've been doing this almost 35 years now. We've seen a lot of change, but the best thing about change is it gives you opportunity, and how you embrace that opportunity obviously affects the outcome.
Indeed, and the thing about change, it is so, it's just, there's no question, things are always changing. And I'm not sure if I'll get this right, but I heard when people say time, when we think about time, we can think about a clock moving or one time to the next time, and all that is marking change because nothing ever stays the same.
No. can't be in real estate if you expect everything to stay the same. Flexibility is a true key to success in most sales jobs, period. But we have changing markets, changing companies, changing technology trends and all. And I think one of the true talents of most of our staff members is their ability to be flexible and to embrace change and challenge, because we're thrown curves on that every day. And how we can support our agents and how we can support our customers, both buyers and sellers, with changes and how to overcome obstacles. We don't call them problems, we call them opportunities or situations to resolve. And it makes a difference in something that can be either the most stressful situation in someone's life, buying a home or selling a home, or it can be absolutely the most joyous. And of course, we prefer to have the latter.
And when you talk, and we're talking about change, the interesting thing too, what comes to mind is that on your team, you have so many top performers, and they're not just top performers once in a while. They're consistent, and that says, and when we incorporate that factor of change, they're consistent in the wake of change and all the dynamics that go on in the marketplace. True professionals, and it's incredible. You get to work with them every day.
That's
it
right.
must be amazing to be around these people.
It is. It's fascinating to watch them work, and we've, for many years, had the top agent in the city of Houston and the greater Houston area. The fun thing about it is I remember her when she was a brand new agent. And, along those lines, everyone was a brand new agent one time. And, when you have new agents come into the company, they really are looking up at the wall at the top producers and going, oh my gosh, how do you get there? How do you get there? And my response to them is always, every one of them was a brand new agent one time. And so they kind of sit back and think about that. Our agents, I think, are consistent because they are treated consistently with an ability to have support, training, education, and help at any time that they need it. Because we really do operate as one in here. There's no day that goes by that one of our new agents says, can you come on a listing appointment with me? And an hour later, one of our many high-producing agents will call and say, come out with us on this one. And we always, love to go, love to be a part of it. John goes, our sales managers go. Our executive vice president goes, I go. And people do appreciate that when you're in their homes talking about the company and the support, because we can certainly boast about our agent in a way that they wouldn't do for themselves, let them know what an integral part of our company that they are, and they truly feel that they're not alone with one agent in the transaction. They're part of this team, and know that that agent's not going to have a stone unturned when they need a tool to use in getting that house sold.
And it's interesting as we think about this, the dynamics of success is serving people well consistently. And even when you go dial the clock back and think about when someone just starts and they say, wow, how do I get there to be that top producer? It really is doing the right things on a consistent basis, yes, handling the challenges, but it must be fascinating to see people grow as they come into your company and see them succeed. And some of them are already super successful when they get here, but then it's just a whole nother story. So it is very exciting. Give us an idea that your perspective of the marketplace right now, Cheri, and if you were to just guess and speculate, let's take the area where your office is right here in the Galleria, the Post Oak area, and turn the clock ahead and say, how do you think it's going to play out for the rest of the year? And then let's do the same thing with the Woodlands.
Well, I think that there's one thing that you always know, that when an area is growing and the city's doing very well, is when your traffic is horrendous.
Oh. Well, we're there.
And
we're
as
doing
we're
just
sitting
so well.
about 2 blocks at maximum off the 610 loop across from the Galleria, it's always strong, but it's really strong now. And it's because most of the roads have one lane closed off for this crane or this construction truck or whatever. All of us are getting big nails in our tires all the time, because there's construction everywhere. But of course, that's a sign of success and progress. And I don't see a slowdown for that anytime soon in this central Houston area. As we know, things have gone vertical like crazy. Look at how many apartment buildings we had years ago that were 2-story and maybe 3. And now you look at the 6-story, 7-story, 32-story. I was just recently on jury duty for 3 weeks downtown.
I heard about that.
Couldn't believe.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a pleasure. But anyway, but the rental towers going up downtown and the pricing on them and the number of units that are available for people to live in downtown now is staggering. So Central Houston's booming, but so are the suburban areas. And what's wonderful about all of them is they're developing into their, I don't want to call it a township, but their own really stable neighborhoods with all of the consumer services that anyone would want. And they're becoming, little municipalities almost in themselves. Woodlands, way past that. I mean, the Woodlands is so self-contained now and so an amazing place to live that some people never venture to downtown unless they want the higher level of theater or performing arts and all that they can't get at, Cynthia Mitchell Pavilion or places like that. But the shopping, the restaurants, the activities, the recreation is amazing, and they may be getting their first high-rise soon.
Thinking about the vertical aspect, and I live right around here, one of the things I like, and I would preface this by saying Houston has something as far as lifestyle and where your home is, location, has something for everybody. But what I like about living, let's say, at Post Oak Timber and Post Oak Lane, you're talking about vertical, that it has a wonderful blend, because I like living where I could see office buildings, mid-rises, and then beautiful homes in Tanglewood. To me, that's a very unique area that works out for me. But yet, hey, I love the trees and the woodlands too,
Beautiful.
and then Clear Lake and all those things. So we really have something for everybody. Tell us, as far as the woodlands go, where is the office at there?
Our office right now is on the waterway, actually. It's 21 Waterway, and our agents do work. They don't play all the time there because you surely could. Well, I don't really want to disclose the new location now, but it's going to also be close to water up in the woodlands. Be a neat little storefront office, walk-up traffic and good parking and all, and so we're looking forward to that. As we're in an office building now, we'll be in a different environment that's very, very consumer-friendly.
Well, people are listening right now. They may not know where it is, but they already want to go, and I'm
Sure.
included in that. I want to be there and check it out sometime.
You bet.
Also, let's give us an idea. We talk about the people that are on your team, and in the real estate world here in Houston, I just think it's incredible. I don't know what the number is, Cheri. Is it 30,000 as far as the number of realtors in this area? It's somewhere in that range.
It's more than
Is
that.
it?
I actually have been involved with the Board of Realtors for years and years and years, and we are on the MLS committee for the multiple listing service this year, so we get statistics every month about how many members, how many listings, et cetera, and we're over 34,000 members of HAR.
Wow.
And that means a realtor that belongs to the Houston Association, Texas Association, and National, meaning we all have to adhere to the same code of ethics. On top of that, there are probably another 25,000 people running around the Houston area that hold a real estate license that are not realtors. They're simply licensed
They
agents.
just have a license.
Right. Believe it or not, there is a difference. We hold ourselves to very high standards on that. But there are quite a few realtors.
And it's interesting. If someone's listening, I want to mention the thing about people again. When you see someone, what are just some of the qualities that from your perspective, you can look at let's say someone's not even in the real estate profession, but you see him because you're doing something else, another type of business, but you see him and you say, you know what, I think you'd be
They've got it.
They've got it. What is it that they have?
Well, I'll preface that with another statement, because it does make a difference to have a point of difference for yourself when you're a real estate agent. You have to set yourself apart, because just to take, for instance, last month, there were about 6,700 single-family homes that sold last month. Now, you look at that, and then you think about there are almost 35,000 realtors. So wouldn't you need to really set yourself apart in order to make sure that you were one of those people that was in on the 6,700 houses that sold? Leaves a lot of agents out there that aren't selling a lot. I think it's great to find a young green person ready to roll that you can really help mold themselves and their future. But it's even a lot of fun to find someone that's always wanted to do this, and they're able to make a career switch because financially they're able to set out on their own. And you really look at how well they've done at what they did and just know that you can retrain those skill sets to be exactly what you need to be, a good salesperson in real estate. And to watch them blossom and know that they've got it and they can do it is just the greatest thing in the world a sales manager or a broker can see. But they've got one thing, and we don't pull any punches when we interview. We let people know exactly how it is, and it's not easy. No matter how glamorous it may seem or how much fun it may seem, it's very hard work, and those that have the most knowledge to gain the most confidence and feel the more powerful are the ones that succeed in this, and it's not by twiddling your thumbs.
And as you're describing someone taking their success from one field to the real estate field, as you said that, and I think you saw the twinkle in my eye.
I did.
There's two people I'm thinking of right now in your company that are superstars that did just that, and I know there's many more. Cheri, say with the last minute or so, what else would you like people to know?
Well, I'd just like people to know that we have, the neat thing about this company is we are never standing still. We're always looking at new opportunities. We're branching out in the neighborhoods, as John said before. We are diversified in the fact, and you'll hear a little bit later on about our global relocation services and how exciting that is and a vital important part of our company and our business. New homes, developers, we're serving that entire population right now, which is huge because there's new construction around every corner, as I mentioned. So there's really a lot of opportunity, and we have great staff opportunity here too, because we have a very hearty support staff that supports all these agents that are running around doing a good job so they can be out working. It's a great place to work and to play and to really grow. And the culture here is second to none.
It really is. In fact, I recommended someone to your company just a week or so ago. Cheri, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Yes, you can reach us at johndaugherty.com. We're located at 21 Waterway in the Woodlands and at 520 Post Oak Boulevard in the Galleria area. Phone number 713-626-3930.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cheri Fama. Cheri, thanks for being on the show, and we're going to take a short break on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Your host, Bill Nampick. Stay with us. We're coming right back with even more.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Nampick, continuing with a great theme here at John Daugherty Realtors. We now have Ann Incorvia. She is the Executive Vice President. Ann, welcome to the show.
It's always a pleasure to see you again, Bill.
Between the break, we're talking about your heritage up in upstate New York.
Yes, a big Italian family. Yes, the whole Northeast, you know how that is.
And you're like me. I am from the Pennsylvania area, and I found my way to Houston, got here in 1982, I think it was.
Same year. I came in October of 1982.
Unbelievable. It's been great here in Houston. But let's tell people your role here at John Daugherty and your perspective right now.
My role at John Daugherty, I'm thrilled to be here. It's a great environment to work with Cheri and John on the growth of the whole company. And I really have the privilege of overseeing the Global Relocation Department. Our business development department really has grown over the last few years. As you can see in our bookcases, you can see all our crystal awards that we've been very proud of. Between the team that we have in the department and with the agents understanding the relocation needs of corporations and also individual people moving in from all over the world, we really have focused on what their needs are and really have trained specialized agents that can assist people moving anywhere in the world. We've taken on a new format of doing settling in services. And what that is we help people that are coming in, helping them with getting driver's license, whatever their needs are, we're here to assist them.
And that's right. When we think about the global aspects, people coming from other countries, and we think about our own situation here, we don't realize that other cultures, it's a whole different thing. So driver's license, the things that are details for us become very important things that you're helping people with as they relocate.
You really are. You really are. The last thing we really do is sell them a home or help them find a place to live. Really, the focus is welcoming them to Houston and being their ambassadors, and welcoming them and understanding our culture, what we have to offer as a city. And just think about it. If you are just moving here and you don't know anyone, you really do depend on your real estate individual to help you find out information about the city and also everything that Houston has to offer.
That's right. People that are realtors have to do so many things, and part of that role is being an ambassador, even if it's an ambassador of a neighborhood, but that role becomes amplified when we're talking about a global situation.
Absolutely. A lot of our agents end up being very good friends with the clients they serve here because we really do have a family environment. And we are known for the service that we give to these individuals with corporations that are moving individuals, is also, like I said, individuals moving here. We are able to help them. It's a big move. It's not just because you're moving. If you're moving for a job, you have a lot of pressure on you. You have a home to sell where you're coming from. You have a new employment. So we're here to help them feel comfortable in what they're doing and in making the right decisions.
And give us an idea of some of the other considerations we're talking about, the driver's license, and probably schools come into play there too. Tell us how you help people there.
School is a major component. We will help them set up appointments to visit the school. We will give them links on where they can go and research the schools and really compare. We've been able to help and focus individuals, children that have special needs. We do the whole gamut of what their needs are. We also, not only with the schools, we even had to find an Olympic coach for somebody that was moving here because they were in the middle of trying out for the Olympics. So we do a lot of different aspects of what their needs are. It's also helping somebody that's moving. The spouse really doesn't want to move. And so we have to introduce them to Houston and find out what they're going to be missing from where they're moving from and get them comfortable with everything we have. Houston is so diverse and we have so much to offer. So it really helps for our agents to understand and communicate with our clients, and they do an excellent job of that.
That's right. Some people that are in the moving process may not want to move, so that's just another emotional factor in the real estate transaction that the real estate professional has to be attuned to or navigate through.
The one thing about John Daugherty Realtors, we are members of a lot of different institutes that are involved in the real estate. Thus being, next week I have the opportunity of going to the Worldwide ERC. It's the Employee Relocation Council. And I have the opportunity to be a presenter there. And what we do is we all get together, and this council is made up, this industry, of everyone that touches an employee or a transferee or somebody that's moving, whether it's appraiser, inspectors, household goods moves, HR departments, real estate professionals. We all get together and we all network and we all talk about how to make the process the smoothest of someone moving anywhere in the world.
So if someone, let's say, calls you from another country, you get the phone call that says, we're going to move to Houston, Texas, but they don't know a realtor, how do you match them up with the person? Or how does that work?
We really do a strong needs assessment. We really listen to what their needs are, what their criteria is, and really what their hot button is. Really, what they're fearful of, what their concerns are. We are a full service department, so we are able to help somebody not only with the real estate piece, but also help them, point them in the direction of household goods move. We have relationships with temporary housing, corporate housing, whatever their needs are. So we really are the one point person that are there to counsel them and get them over any aspect that they find negative of the move, and also work with them on the positive side of what they're looking for and what we can do to help them.
In addition, there's no doubt that you know your own team in a wonderful way. You know all the things about your team so that you can make that match, it sounds like. Very easy.
The team in the relocation department has over 75 years of experience between them. So they're very well versed. They have worked at corporations. They have worked at relocation management companies. They have experience, and they also have moved themselves. So they're relocation individuals. So they really understand what the key and what is needed for somebody that's moving anywhere. I'd like people to know that John Daugherty Realtors has really expanded their focus on the Houston market as well as globally. We have seen that today's consumer is an on-demand consumer. And when I mean that, they want technology and they want things made easier for them and the process made easier. And so as a company, we've really focused on the technology aspect of not only to helping our agents, but also to help the consumer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ann Incorvia. Thank you, Ann, for being on the show, and so nice to see you and find out that you're from the north as well. But we're enjoying Houston, aren't we?
Thank you. Yes, it's a pleasure to see you.
And we're going to take a short break. Stay with us. There's much more here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. your host, Bill Nampick. We're coming right back.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick, right here at John Daugherty Realtors. And now we get to talk to Drew Pursell. He is the Senior Leasing Specialist at John Daugherty Realtors. Drew, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's great to be here.
It really is. And give us an idea. It's almost self-descriptive, but tell us about your role as Senior Leasing Specialist, what you do.
I oversee another leasing specialist here, and I help people when they move into the town or move in from even Katy, or if they're relocating from one house to another house and their house isn't finished yet. Anything to do with leasing, either apartment communities or privately owned properties, that's what we do in the leasing department.
And that's so interesting because a lot of times we think about real estate professionals and companies like John Daugherty Realtors, and we think it's always about buying and selling. However, there are so many applications where someone may just want to lease, and you run into them all the time.
Yes, exactly. Many times, especially in areas such as West U, the Memorial areas, people are either downsizing or they're building larger homes. And that's going to take a while, so they need an apartment. Sometimes they want another home to move into that has enough furniture so they don't have to store their furniture. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help them do that. Or somebody's moving from Florida, California. Anywhere from out of state, we help people move, get acclimated to the city. That's what we do.
And it seems to me sometimes there's that, you mentioned someone, let's say, coming from Florida, and I would think that, let's say, Florida or wherever, or maybe New York City, they're coming and they don't have enough time to buy. They don't want to be pressured to buy a home that they may not like. So it sounds like the leasing part will serve them well.
Yes. Sometimes they want to get acclimated to the city before they make a big decision on the purchase. So that's what we do. We ask questions. What's important to you? Walkable distance to restaurants, schools, what's the most important thing to you? And that's how we can help them maybe find the best area of town that's right for them. The price range is always important if they have pets. A lot of questions.
There's a factor too, yes.
Big
And I would have to answer that 2 times. I have 2 pets. I didn't want 2 dogs, but somehow it's a long story. I have 2 dogs. So if I lease or even when I buy my next home, having that pet factor is important.
Big factor. A lot of the private owners of townhomes and houses, they won't even accept pets. The apartment communities typically don't accept more than 2 pets. Some of them only accept 1 pet if it's a dog. There's breed restrictions. A lot of factors involved. If you have 3 pets, you really should purchase rather than lease, because you might not find a place to lease very easily.
Very interesting. Also, it sounds like, too, as you talk to people that are leasing, that you have your own, within John Daugherty, needs assessment that you go through, and it's probably very thorough, and you nail it all the time.
Correct. We have a list of questions we go through, a lot about their rental history. Rental history is very important. Some other questions we ask that we assess before we make a determination on where what we can help them with.
And give us an idea. What is the most common reason when they reach out to you here at John Daugherty Realtors that they would lease and that you would hook up with this family or individual?
The most common reasons for leasing?
For leasing, yes.
Probably one of the most common reasons is because you do not want to purchase a home yet. Or recently we've had a lot of people selling their homes. In the larger homes, they're downsizing, especially after the oil and gas issue recently. Kind of had a fear factor for a second. So they decided to lease rather than stay in their home, and they thought it would be a great time to sell. So they sold their homes, and now they're leasing for a year or so and see what happens in the market.
And we've had a lot of rain in these past couple of years, and there were incidents of flooding and things like that. Did that present opportunities for people to lease where maybe their home was being repaired and they reached out and said, hey, I better just rent for 6 months?
Yeah, a few people. We had a few of those. Luckily, we didn't have very many. But we did have a few of those, and those people typically did want to do a 6-month lease.
Very nice. Drew, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
We can be reached at 713-351-6700 or leasing at johndaugherty.com.
And with the last minute, Drew, what else would you like people to know about your role here at John Daugherty?
I would just like people to know that we're here to help you. That's what we do. Between Kelsey and I, we've had about 20 years of leasing experience, and we know the market, we know the management companies, and that's what we're here to do.
No doubt about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Drew Pursell with John Daugherty Realtors, Senior Leasing Specialist. Thank you, Drew, for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we're coming right back with even more. Stay with us. And we are with Will Elizondo with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Will, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Bill.
Well, people know about Stewart Title most places, but let's tell them a little bit about Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, what you do.
Yes, well, I personally, over at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, I'm the Vice President of Operations and Program Sales. Our group focuses on assisting the things involved in a real estate transaction. So we truly want to be the insurance resource for the real estate market.
And there's so many things that go on in a real estate transaction.
Absolutely. And so you have multiple parties with various needs. And so we are able to fulfill the needs for those separate individuals.
And in fact, I'm thinking about this, Will. When we think about the real estate transaction, it ends up at the closing table, right? And quite frankly, at the closing table, there's someone selling a home. I mean, sometimes the closing they do in two separate times. But okay, the concept being someone's selling a home or a property, someone's buying it. There's real estate agents. There might be a real estate broker there. Mm-hmm. So we have something for each individual at the closing.
Absolutely. Yes, we can look to assist since we are very familiar with the transaction itself, what's taking place from the very beginning of a listing of a property, the opening of title, as well as what's occurring at the closing table. And then as far as what the loan officer is doing for their mortgage broker and their mortgage banker.
Indeed, and I'm thinking that if the broker's sitting there, you're offering broker E&O insurance for the person buying the home. They could have their home insured. They could have the cars insured that go into the driveway. And for the realtors, also there's things that you offer for them too.
Absolutely. You know, for us, since this is our focus, we consider ourselves specialists. We try to make sure that the products that we have available and the coverage needs that we identify have a little special twist to it, since this is what we do day in and day out, as to maybe what they may not have received in the past. And then what we bring to the table sometimes is very exclusive, where it's something that we were the ones that brought to the insurance market itself, and it's only available through our organization. And so, yes, exactly. We're able to help with individuals with their own personal insurance, as well as the corporate policies carried by our partners.
So for people out there listening and you know about Stewart Title, or you've even closed at a Stewart Title, for that we thank you so much. But if you've not known about Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, know that we now have a company, and we've had it over 11 years now, right? You guys have been around. So we have a company that can help you with your home, auto, broker, insurance, or even if you are a business owner and you own some kind of store or something, you've got insurance for that too, right?
Absolutely. We can definitely assist them and try to truly unravel where their risk potential is, and help them in making that deciding factor as to how they wish to cover it.
And just as you described that, in that way, people know that you know about insurance and they can call you. Let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Hey, Bill, well, the best form of communication for that immediate response is to get in contact with us by phone, which is 866-845-4676. We'll also love for people to go to our website in order to gather a lot of information. We try to be very educational to make that smart consumer out there. And they can go to stewart.com and go to our insurance tab. And then they could also contact us through social media. So we're on Facebook. They can locate us underneath the name Stewart Insurance. And then also our Twitter and Instagram handle is Insure Risk.
Very nice. Stewart.com. I love it where you have the menu, and they can call, of course, 866-845-4676. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Elizondo. Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Bill.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As we wrap up the show, he is back, John Daugherty of John Daugherty Realtors. Welcome back, John.
Thank you. Happy to be back, Bill.
What else would you like people to know?
Well, I think the most important thing, finding a company that's well established, that's known in the market areas, and that has good professionals that are well trained. I think that's very important, and that they have good, strong management backs them up. And relocation.
And you have that right here.
Yes, we do.
In a tremendous way.
We're very fortunate. Relocation is a very important part of our business, not only in leasing, but in buying and selling, and sending people to other parts of the world that need to buy. And Ann does a wonderful job with that.
Indeed, and people could, if they're tuning in at YouTube, they could see you and I talking. But at the table, we have Ann and Cheri and even our business development officer, Bree Nodal, right here. So we have the nice group here. But as far as Ann and Cheri goes, when did you first meet Cheri, let's say?
Well, it took me 10 years to find Cheri.
To find her. And once you...
We knew each other slightly, but I'll never forget, and we're coming up on 7 years this week, isn't it?
You remember the week?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
7 years this week, okay.
And we had the most fun visit. It was about 2.5 to 3 hours, and we left that meeting feeling like we have known each other all our lives. And we've had more fun working together, and never had a disagreement. And we always communicate, and we talk 2 or 3 times a day, minimum. And,
wait a minute, you never had a disagreement?
Never had a disagreement. We had a difference of opinion, but that's not a difference. That's not a disagreement. We listen to both sides, and we make a joint decision on which way we were going to go.
And I think what you said right there, anybody listening, whatever their profession, there is something, that's right. There are people that we meet in our lives, whether in real estate, whatever we're doing. Sometimes we meet someone, and even in that first couple minutes, you say, hey, I was supposed to meet this person.
That's
and
right.
That's what you're describing right here.
Exactly.
I can think of a few people in my life like that.
And I told Cheri in that meeting, she comes from a 6th-generation funeral home business in Beaumont. And I said, the next business I want to get into is into the funeral home business, because the client can't complain.
That's right. They can't complain. Solid business right there. There's no doubt about it. Well, John, thank you so much for being on the show. And what else? Anything else you want people to know?
No. Enjoy this wonderful city we have. We have so many wonderful people that live here, and we're very open to helping people.
And you know, I wrote a song about you. We're going to play that somewhere. We may have already played it, but it's going to be in the show somewhere.
I look forward to hearing it. Thank
you,
Bill.
Go. And thank you, Mr. John Daugherty. And now she is here, Cheri Fama, president of John Daugherty. Cheri, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Well, I'm glad. I thought of it at the last minute to ask how you guys met, and I'm glad to finally find out. Isn't that great?
Right around the corner from each other, but obviously very, very busy, and knew each other and watched each other's companies and knew a lot of the agents that were in both companies. So the transition here was just a very, very smooth one and a very happy one, and felt like I walked into a family that I had really been a part of for a long time. And we just grew closer and closer and stronger. And it's been very successful, I think, for all of us. A win-win is always wonderful.
And it's great. People could see, and knowing you for these years now, every time I come to your office or see you at an event, there's no doubt, even if you're around 2 or 3 people of your associates, it really is a family. Your company really represents a family that's working as a team to help buyers and sellers all the time.
Well, we're proud of each other. And I always tell agents, when you have a great success or you have a happy time, you've got everybody happy for you. And when you've had a deal fall through or something that may not be to your liking, you've got a group of people here to support you. You know, rain or shine, and that's when you know it's a true family.
I like what you said, rain or shine. Cheri, with the last minute, what else would you like people to know, or how can they reach out to you?
Reach out to us here at our website, which is johndaugherty.com, or you can call our Post Oak office at 713-626-3930, or call our Woodlands office, which also can be reached by the main number.
Indeed, it can. And I'll tell you what, I drive over, especially when I go to the Kirby office, I drive over those railroad tracks, and when I see you and John on the sign, it just comes to life, and I just feel great all over. Thank you for being on the show,
You
Cheri.
bet, you bet.
And now, with a final thought, Ann Incorvia. Ann, welcome back. As always, when someone's on the radio, it's always that one other thing that, I forgot to say this. What else would you like people to know?
What I'd like people to know about John Daugherty Realtors, and having the opportunity of having the relocation department under my umbrella, but also being able to help with the overall growth of the company. We've really seen that what we need is specialist agents and all over Houston, and that's what we focused on versus going brick and mortar and opening offices throughout Houston. We really need, if you think about it, Bill, when someone comes here, being a local Houstonian, you feel you know the area. Think of somebody moving here that doesn't know anything. They can go from the Woodlands to Clear Lake to be looking for homes. So we have to have specialists that really understand each area, and we've been able to do that without having to open an office in each area. And so when a buyer is coming into town, we can have a specialist help them in a multitude of areas. JohnDaughertyRealtors.com, or they can call us at 713-626-3930.
Thank you so much, Ann Incorvia. I just love how that rolls off the tongue. Incorvia, that's a great Italian name, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And you've been listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. As always, we're brought to you by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. So even though the show is over at the time of broadcast, we encourage you, it never really ends, because it's like Netflix, Real Estate Matters on Demand. It's like Netflix, but different. You can go to Stewart.com/Houston. Again, that's Stewart.com/Houston to hear all the shows. This is show, I think it's number 171. So thank you for listening. Stewart.com/Houston. And assisted here today by Bree Nodal. Check her out at our Kirby location, 3201 Kirby Drive. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart.com/Houston. Every morning at the office, he's ready for action. He wants to help with your real estate transaction. In Houston, Texas, he's a legend you see. The man I'm talking about is John Daugherty, Big John. Big John, Big John. I said Big Bad John. He has a team of agents, some of the best you know, to help you with your home, whether you come or go. Each one has a specialty, and they work with John Daugherty, Big John. He's been in Houston, Texas for many, many years. When you work with John, have no fear. He practices discretion and privacy. He's sitting right here looking at me, Big John. Big John. I said, Big Bad John. Big John. When you buy or sell a home, call his company. They know real estate from A to Z. Whether you're traveling from near or traveling from far, I don't care if you're in a plane or in a car. Call John. The real estate transaction is best left to the pros, and John and the team are always in the know. They work real hard to stay on top of their game, because the one thing we know is things always change. Big John. Big John. Big John. I said Big Bad John. Big John. His company's been around for over 50 years, one of the best in the business, and I know you hear. His word is his bond, and that says a lot. So give them a call, as the market's still hot. Big John. When John got into real estate, he had a vision, you see. Ask anyone, don't take it from me. The client's interests come first, that's what he tells the team. So give them a call, you see what I mean. Big John. Big John. Big John. I said Big Bad John. Big John. Well, at this point, there's not much else I'll say. I hope you got the message from me today. In 1967, in this city, he established the brand, John Daugherty. And at the top of this company is a big, big man. We love you, John. Big John. Big John. I said Big Bad